Some major news as AEW star Kenny Omega could be set to make his return to the company this coming, as other major stars either have or are also expected to make a return very soon. It looks like AEW is getting ready for the new year in a big way, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know. Who's returning? When are they returning? What's going to happen? What do we know? All that and much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Let's get started and talk about the god of professional wrestling, Kenneth by God Omega, who has been away from AEW ever since December of last year. Ever since he started that bout of diverticulitis, he has been seen only one time on AEW TV. That is during the story between the Elite and the takeover of AEW. He was written off of TV, even though he'd already been off of TV. A little bit confusing there, but regardless of all of that, it looks like they're going to at least try to make some sense out of this situation, as Kenny Omega is about to make his return. This according to the good folks over at FightfulSelect.com, who have said the following. While there was some internal discussion about Kenny Omega returning at Full Gear, Fightful Select has been told that that was never a firm plan. However, we noted that Omega was likely to appear in All Elite Wrestling before headed back over to Japan. On December 18th, a vignette aired promoting his upcoming return. Those within the company and near Omega have claimed that it's been discussed as happening by the December 28th World's End pay-per-view. However, we've not learned in what capacity. So Kenny Omega looks like the expectation, at least, is that he would return at least prior to or at AEW World's End on December 28th in Orlando, Florida. So there's a lot to unpack here. Obviously, many people have been saying for the last couple of months, seeing Kenny build up matches in Japan, seeing Kenny train, seeing Kenny go through everything that he has. And the expectation would be for him to maybe return and do a match in AEW, maybe pick up where he left off, maybe pick up and go into that feud with the Elite or perhaps the Moxley stuff. But it looks like he is going to return at World's End. And if that is the case, I would have him return and be the conquering hero at the end of the show when Jon Moxley beats or inevitably beats Jay White, Orange Cassidy, and Hangman Adam Page in that fatal four-way match for the All Elite Wrestling World Championship. I think it would make sense for him to be the savior. I think AEW has not been the same ever since Kenny Omega left TV. I think that it is coincided with a bit of a significant downgrade in the product itself, and also just the ratings as well. Omega, when he left last year, in Q4 of 2023, they were averaging right around 800,000 viewers. Right now, they're at 600,000 viewers for Q4 2024. It is not good things for AEW. So hopefully Omega's return is a bit of a shot in the arm. And I think, look, Kenny is one of the best wrestlers on the gosh darn planet. There's no bones about it. There's no way to even dispute that. He just is. And when he's on TV, he is must-see. So hopefully that will help out in that respect. I also think from a storyline perspective, it makes sense for him to come back. Whether or not he's going to be with the Elite is the big question, but we'll see. We'll see. There's obviously a lot to happen. And there's also going to be a lot to happen because there's going to be more. And of course, there's a lot happening because Adam Copeland is also set to make his return to All Elite Wrestling after he has been out of action ever since he broke his leg at AEW Double or Nothing back in May. Copeland, according to the good folks over at FightfulSelect.com, could be returning as soon as the first Dynamite of the new year. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has learned that Adam Copeland is expected to be back in All Elite Wrestling imminently. Copeland has been out of action for a number of months with a broken leg and was working on filming a television product during his absence. Copeland had been cleared for training a number of weeks back. However, most in the company expected him to be back by the Asheville January 1 episode of AEW Dynamite. As he now lives in the area, AEW was looking to make the show a big one, as it's the first simulcast on TBS and Max. Of course, tying into all of this, you have this open challenge that Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler put out and saying, like, they're not coming alone, and it would make sense for Copeland to be their third guy. It would make sense for Copeland, someone who is a native of Asheville. Asheville, of course, was hit by a tremendous hurricane a couple of months back. Copeland was part of the relief efforts there. AEW had put him front and center as part of their efforts to help out with the aftermath of that hurricane. And he's a pillar of that community. And I think since this show is going to be their Fight for the Fallen show, they are going to be paying tribute to both the people who lost their resources, their homes, their shelters, all that kind of stuff, as well as their lives, unfortunately, at that show. And a big way to help, raise awareness, raise money, and, just raise the profile of this show would be to get Adam Copeland back. And I think it just makes all the sense in the world from that perspective for him to come back at AEW Fight for the Fallen, the first Dynamite of the year, and also the first ever Dynamite on Max and TNT, TBS, whatever. It's a channel. You know what I'm saying. But that's sure to be a massive show. You know what else is a massive show and what's a massive deal? Saving $20 off your next purchase with SeatGeek when you use the promo code RealTake. Before we get into the final return, I do got to tell you guys about our friends over at SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best sports ticketing app out there. They rate tickets from a scale of 1 to 10, so you know precisely the type of deal that you're going to get. And today, using the promo code RealTake, I am going to save you $20 off your first purchase. Yes, $20 off your first purchase for SeatGeek when you use the promo code RealTake. All you got to do is click the link in the description, sign up for SeatGeek, you check out your ticket, and at checkout, you use the promo code RealTake, and that's $20 right in your wallet that you don't even need to worry about. Gone right there. You can spend it on parking, spend it on concessions, spend it on Chipotle for all I care. Well, I don't care what you spend it on. But if you're going to buy a ticket from SeatGeek, use that promo code RealTake. Save yourself $20. All right, let's move on to our final topic of the day, another major return for AEW, or should I say ROH, as the very nice, very evil Danhausen made his return to the AEW ROH universe, for lack of a better term, at Ring of Honor final battle this past weekend. Danhausen has not been seen on AEW for the past couple of months. There were reports that there was seemingly a rift between the two parties and that he would not return to the company. There was so much talk about that, but he's back, and he showed up in the most Danhausen way you could possibly imagine him showing up. He interfered with an MXM match. He kicked Massey in the you-know-whats and proceeded to make him eat the teeth. Fantastic spot. And Danhausen is back. He is up to his old shenanigans, and he got a massive pop. I think there's a lot to be critical of the way that Danhausen has been / has not been used by AEW throughout his run. But one thing's for sure, Danhausen does have a very special effect and a very special, for lack of a better term, aura about him. That when he's there, he gets a pop. He's funny, and people get it. Like that's the thing. There's been like one guy, like he's like one of the very few guys that if you're like talking to a guy who does, or a person who doesn't know about wrestling, like, and you bring up Danhausen, they're like, oh yeah, Danhausen, like I know that, and it's like a weird pop culture phenomenon that's been going on for the past couple of years. So for Danhausen, this return is big. Obviously for AEW, I think it's also big. I think, if I'm them, I would go in on telling like a story, a true story for Danhausen. That's not just, let's have him on the show. Let's have him be comic relief. Let's tell a story with Danhausen. Do it with MXM and see how far you can take it. Because I think that's the kind of thing that can be like a very engaging thing for that ROH product especially. And if Final Battle proved anything, I think it's that ROH has the ability to stand on its legs if AEW and Tony Khan give it the opportunity to do so. If you fill up an arena that is of ROH fans, the atmosphere is going to be better. If you tell stories and narratives using strictly ROH talent, the opportunities for growing those talent and for growing the awareness of the brand are going to be big. But if it's just literally being shot right in the same arena as Dynamite with fans who do not watch ROH, who do not care about that product, and using characters and wrestlers that, maybe on ROH, maybe not, they're not really part of either roster, it's just going to water it down. So hopefully we get a little bit of a changing of that guard, and with the TV deal looking to be imminent, we hopefully will also see that happen. But guys, I want to hear from you as I just hit my new boom. I want to hear from you, though. Guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Danhausen coming back to AEW is a good thing? I know damn well Kenny Omega and Adam Copeland coming back to AEW is a very good thing. Let me know what you guys think about those returns in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you made it this far in the video, I really, really appreciate you. None of this is possible without you, and you're the best. What else can I say? All right, guys, until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.